What's going on, everybody? Gabriel right here, representing the movement towards improvement over here at TPC Scottsdale, the champion side.
Champion side.
Yesterday we were on stadium, but today we feel like champions, so we're gonna go accordingly.
Yeah.
So today's video, you guys, Andy's gonna be helping me out with my tempo. You know, I've been going through a lot of swing changes recently, so for me, I've been slowing down, really exaggerating a lot of the movements, and Andy just noticed that, or through the what he's learned on what the tempo should be, and mine just looked a little bit too out of sync.
Yeah.
So Andy, share what you've learned on the tempo and what mine was doing.
Yeah, so pretty simple. I mean, if you look at the best players in the world, they all have their own tempos and they all sit there and repeat it. But, you know, a good little book that everyone can kind of like get into and maybe read is this thing called Tour Tempo. I forget the guy who actually wrote it, but it's a guy that he looked at all these golf swings from LPGA Tour, PGA Tour players from like the last 15 to 20 years, and they actually keep evolving it. They actually just came out with a new book a couple of years ago. And they sit there and they view everyone's swing and they put a rhythm to it or a tempo. And they kind of notice that everyone's at a 3-to-1 ratio, right? So 3 parts backswing, 1 part downswing, which pretty much means everyone's downswing is obviously faster than their backswing. But in looking at that, is that everyone's at a 3-to-1 ratio. So it could be a slow, medium, or fast one. It's just you have to kind of fall in between whatever that kind of is. So tour average is between 3-to-1 ratio. Now there's some guys that maybe a little bit slower than that, maybe like a Ryan Moore who's like a 4-to-1.
Yeah.
Or like a Gabe Ryder.
Yeah, I'm a slow guy.
A little more slow.
True,
golf
true.
swing wise, but you know, and then you got the guys that, you know, in the other spectrum, like a Nick Price, who's probably like the, you know, fastest in terms of 3-to-1 ratio in terms of that. But again, they're all repeating it. What kind of makes these players all good is that they sit there and repeat all their tempos. Right? We saw with Gabe, we kind of attached him to this little Zep lab thing I have here. If you guys haven't looked at that, check that out again. I use this with most of my clients now because it's kind of fun. Is that it was showing his tempo was changing on every single golf swing, right? Which means it's traveling at pretty much like a different speed, right?
Yeah.
So if that's always changing and that's always changing, the ball's always going to do something different, maybe from a distance standpoint, maybe from a feel standpoint, and it was just kind of being so slow for Gabe. So we kind of goofed around and touched things, and we got the Tour Tempo up, but you guys can probably hear what's going on, right? And we got, you can basically set, or you know, select basically 3 different beats. So just for fun of it, we kind of had Gabe go with the slowest one first, which is 27 to 9, right?
Yeah, should I do like maybe just a normal swing? Maybe.
Yeah, do a normal swing first.
Okay.
Probably hard to now with all the beats in your head.
Yeah. This be a normal speed.
Yeah, so that's kind of like his normal stock without thinking too much, just go up and hitting, right?
Yep. I mean, people have always told me over the years that, like, they've always told me to speed up my backswing and stuff. And I was telling Andy that in real life, I'm a pretty slow person. Like, when I drive, I'm like, the right lane on the freeway, I'm going slow. I just take my time. I'm never in a rush. So
it's so on MapQuest the other night, it said it was only supposed to take us a half hour to get to Topgolf. It took us 2 days.
It took us 2 days. I mean, I'm just a slow guy. I like to take my time, like to be careful, cautious, you know.
We still got into an accident, but whatever.
And this is the thing too, is what I'm all about is what type of change is this going to influence my swing. I don't care if my ratio's something dumb or stupid, if my mechanics are good. But what I was telling Andy was, what's always been the case for me is a slow backswing and then transition them quick. And then the problem is I would slow down during the impact interval and I'd end up stalling and flipping. So to me, it's actually making sense if I can actually go faster back. And for me, and let me know if this makes sense, Andy. I feel like it's a little slower just at the start and then speed it back up right away on the downswing.
We'll use the term smoother. He's smoothing out his transition, maybe not being quick and jerky, basically. But again, this isn't going to sit there and correct all of his swing flaws, but it's going to sit there and make whatever he's working on a heck of a lot easier and a heck of a lot maybe better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what kind of happens, like you said, you've been doing a bunch of slow motion training. There's nothing wrong with that, but you still have to kind of find your playing tempo and your, you know, how to sync it up every single time.
And well, subjectively to me, it feels something different than what it's actually doing. So, I mean, that's the biggest thing is, like Andy's saying, the ratio is just more synced up. And for me, what that's doing is that's actually being able to speed up through impact and keep the hands ahead and driving a little more stability.
So it just kind of goes hand in hand with what he's working on. So let's try a 27 parts backswing and then 9 parts downswing.
Okay.
So that's what that would look like, 27 parts. All right, so this would be the slower end of the spectrum. So we went to the slow one. Let's go back to the slow one, Gabe, just so you can hit some shots, try and match that.
Okay.
And we'll just go through all the three ones, and you just tell me which one feels better.
Okay. And also, I need to tell them about how the beats correlate to the swing.
Oh yeah, so pretty much the first beat will be the takeaway, second beat would be the top of backswing, and third beep's impact. So it'll be takeaway, or takeaway, top of backswing, then impact. So he's trying to get those beats to match up as you know, as best as you can.
Oh.
He actually did sit there and time that up, but that feels super slow to you, right?
Yeah, yeah, it does feel slow.
So after this next one, we're going to 24 1/8.
Whether it feels slow or not, it just doesn't feel good.
Doesn't feel good, right?
Yeah.
So now we're on 24 parts backswing, 8 parts downswing. Let's see it. So you can hear the more upbeat tempo to it. That's pretty tasty.
Yeah. And one of the things is Andy's noticing is, to me, it feels quick. And even though it doesn't look quick.
That's probably something that everyone's probably noticed before anyways when watching Gabe hit golf balls, is how slow it looks. Not from a speed standpoint, just in terms of like just visually looking at it, right?
Yeah.
That was striped. Okay, let's go to the fastest one now.
Now that felt like I told Andy, this feels like I'm swinging as fast as I possibly can, back and down.
Right.
But interesting enough, that was like the best shot I hit so far.
Yeah, and it definitely actually went and actually did fly further.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you want to say, Andy, most players want to have the feeling of speeding up through impact and not necessarily slowing down?
Absolutely. I don't think I've ever heard any good player ever say, write an article or tell any amateur, let's slow everything down at impact and flip over.
Yeah,
I mean, you ever heard a good player say that? Probably not.
I mean, for me, it feels like I'm just trying to fire as hard as I can through impact to keep up with the beat.
Yeah, exactly. And you actually keep up and maintain speed.
Yeah.
Because I would sit there and say, just like Gabe said, I think he has such a fast transition from when he goes really slow to fast. He actually slows down at impact. Like that, it just looks like it's just burning through the shot.
Yeah, something happened somewhere along my career where for some reason I associated the stop and throw with distance or with control, maybe trying to always kind of throw the club and guide it. And you know, it's a weird feeling. Like people always say, you kind of want the ball to get in the way and swing past. Yeah. Well, I mean, got to figure out kind of how to do that.
Yeah. So like the funny thing is that I think in the book, or so, I forget what book it is, but they talk about when Greg Norman lost the Masters by, like, he was winning by a lot, then lost it, right? And everyone says, like, when under pressure, you should slow down your rhythm, slow down your tempo, right? Because it will help you out. What happened was Greg was playing really good throughout the entire week. His rhythm was actually pretty fast when he was playing really solid. So it was probably like, probably like in the middle ground where it wasn't really fast, wasn't really slow, but it was going that way. And then when they timed they synced all that stuff up later when all the video footage and actually timed it back up, his rhythm actually got slower and he actually played worse. So again, this is, I think, something too to sit there and we're like, this would be like a non-mechanical day, right? This would be purely sitting there just working on repeating a swing.
Yeah.
And not even certainly like contact, just repeating the same.
Well, if you hear a lot of the older PG Tour players talk, I mean, a lot of the guys that hit the ball well, what were they working on the swing most of the time? Tempo.
Tempo, balance, rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, especially for tournaments, you're not trying to be super conscious, super mechanical. So for me, if I was getting ready to play in a tournament or play a round or even maybe just warm up before the round, I don't want to get once again mechanical. I just want to kind of get into a rhythm and a shot shape.
Yeah, that's it. This is, I would say, detailed. This would be like preparing for tournament practice because he's going to sit here and try to hit every shot with the same thing.
Well, you know what's crazy once again is like, you just can't let your feels dictate what you do with the swing. Because to me, this feels way too fast. And I'm like, Andy, no, I feel more comfortable when I'm going slow. But honestly, I've hit the most quality shots with the fastest tempo. Yeah. Which me and Andy were kind of liking the middle tempo for me, but just interesting enough that the best shots were with the fastest. Yeah. And
even too, when we sat there and slowed them down on video, like your swing actually looked
pretty good
to what you're working on. Like that is just striped.
Yeah, contact's gotten a little better, then dispersion's gotten better too.
Mm-hmm. So now you can sit there and think about, with this tempo and stuff, Gabe actually likes listening to more of the, that's pretty solid. He actually likes listening to more of just the music part.
Yeah.
So there's another part in this part, or in part of the app, which you guys can all get to.
I'm out of breath too.
Yeah, tempo tracks.
Yeah.
So now he's got the beat. He's kind of colorful. All right, let's see it.
Okay. Yeah, I told Andy this feels like a little easier for me to get down. A little bit more rhythm. Is this the fastest one, Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just completely changes the whole mood for me.
It's crazy how fast he feels like he's swinging and just how good it looks.
But the results are good.
Yeah, because you're not slowing down, right?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing.
Like that one there, the beats didn't match up.
Yeah, I noticed that, but I was still speeding up. I was still conscious speeding up to the ball. And it still went pretty good. Crazy, man.
It's crazy. It's
crazy.
It's something that's so funny. Again, so the last thing you want to do is be the player gets caught up on crazy amount of technique, and then you have this crazy, great looking golf swing, but you can't even repeat your tempo. That would be a bad golf swing.
This is getting scary.
It's actually going way further too. I mean, like you were pretty much only almost getting to that orange flag, or maybe just past it. These are flying over it. Yeah, so pretty simple, guys. If you want to check that out, Tour Tempo. The Zep app there is pretty good because it shows all the ratios, and then you can really start boiling this down to actually short game techniques, which maybe we'll do another video later, and how to sit there and actually change your tempo for different shot shapes and around the green in terms of bunker shot, chip shot, pitch shot, because it actually all has a little different tempos.
Yep. Cool. So thanks you guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Andy's YouTube channel if you haven't. Hit up on Facebook.
Yep. Andrew Patnou is my Facebook name. Then Andy Patnou Golf is my Facebook page.
Yep.
So whatever you want to do.
Yep. Connect you guys. Andy's been uploading videos every week now, so just stay tuned. You're gonna learn some good stuff.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, guys. Peace.
Hey you guys, thanks for watching that video. Made that video with Andy about a month and a half ago, so I'm going to be uploading some older videos, but good video nonetheless. Make sure if you haven't already, go subscribe, click on the link below and subscribe to Andy's YouTube channel. Hit him up on Facebook, Instagram, links in description. Andy is one of the best young instructors in the country. What I really like about Andy is he's willing to experiment. He's always continuing to learn, so he utilizes things like the Zep Lab, Tour Tempo, cameras, flight scope. He has a very broad or deep pocket, and he has a lot of tips and tricks and things he can pull out for each individual student, and that's what I see with the great teachers. They don't have one piece of information or one method to do everything. They can pick and choose and use things that they've learned from different coaches or use different technologies for certain things. That makes it simple, easy to communicate, and gets effective results. So you guys definitely connect up with Andy. The guy's teacher week in, week out, and I'm always seeing him grow and learn and expand. So thanks again for you guys. Please subscribe. More videos coming out soon. I appreciate your support. Keep up the good work. Keep kicking ass, and I'll do the same.